Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Kevin. I think we started.
I think we've started. I'm probably talking during that.
Me too. I'll
But
take our
it's our
voices
last
over.
episode that we are allowed to have technical difficulties. The last one.
Oh, this is the only one. The last one we're allowed to.
Yeah.
I think that's just part of our brand now, isn't it?
Yeah, just technical we should just change our name to technical
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of fits with the F1 world.
It does. Yeah. I was gonna say a team, and then I'm like, you know what?
I think everybody knows. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows.
What I was gonna say. Well, we're here again. We're just doing a quick news of the week segment. We are gonna add this to episode 4, which is our last pre-recorded episode. And so we just wanted to do a bit of news of the week. We are going into the first active week of F1. Yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see what we've got.
Well, I guess the first big thing is the remainder of the car launches. So we had 5 the previous week. We had 5 again this week. We had Aston Martin, McLaren, which I guess they revealed their car. Delivery was already revealed previously, sometime in January, wherever it was, or early February. Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull.
Yes. I mean,
any comments at first?
I think they're all what we expected color-wise.
Yes, but I think Ferrari surprised me a bit.
Yes, I like the touches of yellow.
I do.
I think the red that they chose is really nice as well. Mm-hmm. I think Ferrari is my favorite, and we did kind of talk about that. But I think Ferrari is my favorite this year.
Yeah,
we
Ferrari was my favorite.
We have very many options.
But you know what? Ferrari was my favorite, and actually Steak was probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
For as bad as they're going to be. At least I like their livery. Yeah, no, definitely. One thing I noticed with a lot of the cars is that they're really following the Red Bull route. Like you see their side pods, their inlets, really taking a page out of Red Bull's design from last year.
RB19.
Yeah.
Times 19 cars.
Yeah, exactly. Which, you know what? And then, I mean, we'll get into it, but it's why, as almost lackluster as Red Bull's launch was, like the livery, and even the initial look at the car, seeing it afterwards made me so excited.
Yeah,
it really did.
Yeah,
because that Adrian Newey looked at Mercedes design and thought, just to fuck with them, I'm gonna make it work. I'm just gonna make it work. So if you noticed from the Red Bull car, they've taken a page. They haven't gone zero side pods. There are rumors that they're going to go zero side pod by like Japan, but they've done the vertical inlets like Mercedes had at the beginning. And then the kind of cannon design around the engine cover. And so it's kind of just like he's just trying to screw with them. He thought maybe, it's going to be too easy to do the same thing again. So I'm just going to show him how I could make it work and really piss off Toto. Yeah.
Well, and like there's some pictures that you see though that you're like, okay, did they just use the same or have they switched it? So I think we're getting a bit of both, but I agree. I think I've seen lots of comments online of people saying like, the car that we're seeing now is not the car we're going to see come even this week, like at preseason testing.
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
That'll be interesting to see if it's a different car completely, but we'll see. What other notes did I have on it?
Well, the other comment I had, what do you got? What have you got?
No, go ahead. No, I just said that
Um,
basically every car is RB19.
yeah.
Every single car.
The other thing
Um,
for me was the
so
shock at
no real
how
surprises with color or that other teams did, go for the side pod. We'll see if they got it right.
we'll
The
see,
way
yeah.
Red Bull did.
Well, I mean, engine's
Yeah.
gonna play into it too, right? So, um, I think,
Yeah.
I was very surprised how subdued Mercedes launch was. Um, all the talk excuse me, it was one of the only ones I caught right from the beginning. Mercedes and Red Bull were, um, and they kind of just launched right into a quick questionnaire, just like a quiet warehouse with Toto, George, and Lewis, who were barely smiling, and when they did, they forced it. Toto
Yeah.
wasn't even holding back. It was just kind of you could just see like the sadness in his face and disappointment of how how this year is going to play out. Um, yeah, and it was just they kept thanking, everybody back at the factory, but he yet
At the
had
factory.
nobody from the factory there.
Yeah.
Every other team had an engineer talk about where they went with this year's design. They had nobody. They had
No.
absolutely nobody. I know they did um, a little event with Sky Sports afterwards where they took them all on a drive on like the safety car and all that other stuff. But that was it. It was a quick questionnaire, and obviously you knew they were told don't talk about Lewis going to Ferrari, and
Super awkward.
it was a funeral. It was a
Yeah.
wake, you
Yeah.
know.
Honestly. Honestly. Awkward. Like that's all I was thinking watching it. I was like, ooh, but
Yeah. It was sad. It
it was
was really
expected.
sad.
It was expected. I mean, it wasn't expected to be that sad or
No, I
weird.
we expected it to be awkward, but like
Yeah.
for them to just they kind of played into it and just like,
This was
yeah,
a
we're
bit
nobody's happy
much.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, any other comments
Um,
on
I mean, we did do a poll on our Instagram, and I mean, everybody kind of went Ferrari as their favorite
yeah.
of the last few. Um, McLaren, we'd seen the livery already. Um, but yeah, another quiet, weird little launch for them.
Yeah, everybody had it posted everywhere else, or they had a YouTube launch alongside
Yeah.
like but they had. I mean, they just showed up. I just saw posts. Hey, this is our car.
Yeah.
And then again, they did the same thing with Sky Sports, I guess, because they were
Yeah.
all at Silverstone. But it was really weird.
Yeah. It was a kind of a weird launch week. I don't know why, but
I'm wondering if McLaren just doesn't want to show off too much. Maybe they had a good end to last year. Maybe they were just trying not to reveal too much. But yeah,
yeah, maybe. I did see that Lando said if there's any year he's like ready to be confident, it's this year. I was like, well,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
Should be
And he came out
confident
with like a
every
little,
year.
yeah,
But
trying to
yeah,
trying to grow that
hopefully.
stash too. Yeah. So he's trying to grow that
Yeah,
stash. Little sprouts coming out, but
he's
he's
trying.
trying to
Yeah.
show his maturity
He's
in the
still young.
team.
He's got
Yeah,
yeah.
the elder
He's
statesman.
got he's got years on him. Um but I mean the other thing that we should mention was that Christian was at Red Bull.
He
So he
was.
was at the Red Bull launch. There was talk that he might not be there. I figured he would be there. There's nothing.
Yeah, I think that was more speculation for the media. I didn't think there
Yeah.
was any way he wasn't going to show up.
Yeah. He needed to
Yeah,
be there. It
yeah,
says more if he wasn't. So,
yeah,
um yeah, that was it for me on the launches.
yeah. Yeah, I think that was it for me. And then I think you had comment on some of the comments made throughout the
Yeah,
week.
yeah. I had a comment on the comment. So I mean, we had finally hearing from some of the other people on the grid, other drivers. Alonso made a comment about Lewis going to Ferrari. Uh, Max made a comment. Both a little bit shady, or like a little shade. Alonso's more so with the shade.
Yeah,
Saying this wasn't his dream 12 months ago. Wasn't his dream.
exactly.
All
Yeah,
of a
that
sudden,
was
it's his
yeah,
dream to be at Ferrari. Yeah, I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
ooh. And then Max just saying he thinks it happened because they got word of a potential leak.
Which
Because
makes
Yeah, because he's like, why announce something like that and make everything awkward
Yeah,
for
he's thinking
the
the same thing
season?
that the rest of the world is. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just yeah.
it's just yeah, it was weird. So maybe it's true that they got word there was gonna be this leak. Um, I mean, I don't know how many people are talking about it that it has like was getting to point of being leaked, but
Well, I mean,
I guess it happens.
yeah, it's like we talked about earlier. Like it's on a quiet news week, you bring Lewis's name to something, and it's gonna get
Yeah,
headlines, right? So
yeah,
I'm sure it was leaked. Probably, I'm sure
yeah,
this was never their intent. I did hear something. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but that he had told Toto shortly after season's end or near Christmas or something like that, that this was his plan. So it's not like it caught Toto by surprise. So
yeah,
it's not, if that's true, it's not out of the realm of possibility that this was leaked, that other people would have known already,
yeah.
right? So
Okay, fair. Yeah, and I mean, I just going on the backs of it being awkward or like just weird in the paddock. Every race is going to be well, when he's at Ferrari, well, the car's not gonna like it's just always gonna go back to that. No matter how he does in a race, it's gonna be brought. That should be like a bingo. Like every how many
oh yeah,
times in one race is it gonna get brought up?
oh yeah.
And it's just I think it's gonna be really distracting. Um,
Well, yeah, you're
but
right. It's going to be the minute Mercedes qualifies Lewis somewhere, or Ferrari happens to he beats the Mercedes or whatever, they're in a fight. It's going to be brought up at every turn, right?
yeah,
That's going to be the biggest storyline of the year.
yeah.
It will. There's I don't think there's going to be anything this year that eclipses it.
No. Oh well, I mean, we shouldn't say that because anything can happen. Apparently, we have now
Yeah,
figured that out.
yeah,
Um, But yeah, I mean, it was not that there wasn't much going on this week, but that was kind of it. I guess,
yeah.
the other exciting thing is Drive to Survive comes back
Yep.
on Friday.
Yep,
Um,
as soon as his last day of preseason testing
yeah,
is
and
released, Drive to Survive,
the
excuse me, is
23rd, I
released.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have
And
preseason
then
testing from the 21st to the 23rd. Yeah, and then Drive to Survive is out, and then we're right into the first
right
race of the
into the
season.
race.
Thank
Yeah.
God, it's been too long.
Yeah, yeah,
It
honestly,
really has.
I did see that a bunch of the teams have already. I mean, they need to. They've already headed for Bahrain,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. Just
everybody's
to get the
there,
drivers, they
getting
have to get them
ready,
ready.
getting the
Yeah,
cars
yeah, yeah,
ready.
yeah,
So get
yeah.
on
It'll be
the
interesting.
sleep schedule. But yeah,
Yeah, and that's
that's
basically
it
it
for
for the
this
news
week. I
this year.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
next week, yeah, and
Next
then our next pods are gonna be live-ish, not live, but
Live-ish. Well, but current.
current.
Yeah.
That's a better
Yeah.
word.
So what I will say is, for the pod that's coming up, for everybody that's going to listen right after this, um, we are so off already on our predictions. I was listening back to it and I was editing it, and I'll put some footnotes in there at certain points where we're already wrong. So there might be some reading if you're watching on YouTube. There's gonna be quite a bit of reading.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're wrong about all the Lewis stuff. We're wrong about it. Like we go through our predictions for what's gonna happen this year. We do some hot takes. Um, we also go through what we think is gonna happen in the 2024 silly season, because we didn't think anything was gonna happen this season.
I mean, this silly season is started. It's
Yeah,
not
actually, just
even
2024
the
silly
season
season
hasn't
started
started.
in
Yeah,
January.
before
Yeah,
the season.
yeah, yeah,
Silly season started before the season.
yeah.
Um,
Another disclaimer quickly for everybody is, episode 3 and episode 4 were recorded on the same day. So a lot of the technical issues that you saw in episode 3 happen in episode 4. There actually aren't as many pops and everything in episode 4. However, I did not check the batteries in my camera. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's still pictures. Keep watching. I will keep it. It's not going to be a blank screen, but it'll be up there.
yeah.
I'll make it visual.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And again, this is our last episode
Yeah, never,
of technical difficulties. So thanks for
not one
bearing with
more after
us
this. Yeah.
for so long. Um, Yeah.
We can only go up. We can only go up from here.
Yeah, that's what we hope. We
Yeah.
hope. But
Yeah.
all right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Again, we are on, I mean, it's going to be at the end of the episode as well, but we're on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I always
YouTube,
forget.
Twitter,
Yeah.
X.
We're everywhere. Just
Yeah,
find us Fresh Set Podcast.
Search Fresh Set Podcast. Yeah.
And we'll see you guys again.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina.
Almost forgot that, did you?
I did almost forget.
And we're back with episode 4.
Off to a great start.
Yeah. no editing. Just straight to production. So this one we're gonna do. We figure we do our predictions. Now a little bit of a disclaimer. We are doing this very early on. This is going to come out probably just before preseason testing.
Yeah.
A week or two before preseason testing. And we're right now about a month out, at least. So we're going to go in there blind. We had thought about maybe doing after preseason or during preseason testing.
Yeah.
For me, I prefer let's just have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And see how
update
terrible we're going to look either halfway through the season or by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this is going to go horribly.
I've
got some hot takes.
Okay. I mean, I think I kind of do as well.
Okay.
Maybe not so. Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Before we get started, so just in case we forget later, don't forget to follow us on all our socials, on Instagram, on Twitter, on... do you have TikTok? Did you put it on TikTok?
I mean, I have TikTok.
No, did you put it on
I don't
TikTok?
know.
I don't want to give everybody else your TikTok. I don't want to see what the comments are going to be. Yes, so it's Instagram, Twitter. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, watch the videos. On YouTube, just play it on in the background. Don't have to leave it on.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to actually leave it. Turn off the volume if you don't like us.
You
Who cares?
don't have to look at us
just
either.
put it on. And even if you do like us and you listen to it once, play it again and just
Keep
turn off the volume.
playing
Yeah,
it.
it's fine. Not a problem. Put it
Humble plugs here, guys.
put your kids to sleep with it.
Yes. The
Anyways,
white noise of Kevin and Sabrina.
with that being said, let's get into it.
Okay.
So
Let's do it.
we're going to start off. What are our predictions for our top? Do you want to start with the top 5 or are we going to do the bottom 5?
Let's do bottom 5.
Let's do bottom 5. Let's get the negative out of the way.
Yeah.
All right. So our bottom 5 drivers in the championship for the 2024 season. I'm going to go. You want to start 16 to 20? We'll do it that way. And who do you think is going to be the worst?
Let's start 20 to 16.
You want to start 20 to 16?
Yeah.
You want to get it?
I know my 20, that's why.
Yeah, me too.
Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
don't
think he'll have more points this year, but I still think he'll be.
Give him credit. I don't
trying.
think he will have more points.
No?
No.
I mean, he can't have less. He could.
He could.
He could.
He could. It's funny because I actually just saw a post today about him saying that everybody doesn't think much of or expects much of an American driver. But he hasn't really done much
To have people
to disprove
expect.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's going as expected.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's true,
But
but I don't think he should be taught.
you gotta back it up.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
for me, the best American in F1 is Zach Brown, but
I mean, he's kind of annoying.
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, I like him.
I'm like, it's just a guy you
I
want
like him. I
watch a
think
football game and have a beer with.
Yeah.
And he's probably gonna tell you to F off a few times.
Yeah. He seems like he'd be a good time.
Yeah. Okay, so we're both at Logan.
Okay.
My number 19, and I know you're not going to agree with this because you had him a hell of a lot higher last week on your driver rankings. But
K-Mag.
K-Mag, I'll get into my other predictions, but
Okay.
K-Mag for me is 19. I don't think he's going to have a better season. Maybe could have a little bit of a better season. I don't think it'll be much of a better one for me.
I haven't thought about this. I would probably...
Just go with it.
I'm going to go with... I feel like you might be right. I know I did rank him high.
Oh, I thought you were just going to put Ocon in there just for
No,
shits and giggles
no.
and just...
I think I'm hope. No, I'll get into that too. But no, I'll do K Mag. I don't have a lot of confidence in Haas for 2024.
Well, but for good reason.
I think this is going to be like a rebranding year for them. So I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm going to put K-Mag and then Nico in, what's that, 18th.
18th. Okay,
Yeah.
so both of them at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back with, and it's very similar to my driver rankings, but Zhao in 18.
That's a fair one.
I think he'll take another step back a little bit. But yeah, I don't think he's really going to do much. In terms of, talent's there, the car's not. The aggressiveness is not. He kind of just seems to get out of the way. So I'm going to put him at 18. So before we started this, I only had my bottom three, so I still have two more to figure out. But what do you think for 17?
I think I have to put Ocon 17.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think. No. I'm gonna go 17.
Number 17. Okay. For 17, I'm gonna put Piastri. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm gonna
I was like, no, he's gonna have an awful season.
No, I think you're not far off. But I think Nico's probably gonna be in 17 again. I think that's a fair place to put him. Not somebody who's going to get a lot of points, not in that car. I don't think they're going to take much of a step in Haas in their car development. They're pretty much going to be status quo.
Yeah. I would probably... My next one is going to be a little bit controversial. Maybe. I'm going to put Lance. What's that, 16?
Lance, okay. That says 16. That's our last one.
16. Yeah, for me, it's kind of Joe or Lance. I think they're gonna be fighting it out.
Fair enough.
I don't know if Lance is in it.
But I don't think he is either. But I mean, he doesn't have to be in it to just drive the car.
True.
That car.
Shut up and
drive.
drive.
As long as they don't completely destroy it with more upgrades. For me, I'm going to put Bottas again. I don't think, it's similar with Haas. I don't think the car is going to take much of a leap forward.
Yeah.
So I think those four will be at the bottom, other than Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Logan just gets... Well, it happens.
Well,
it happens to the best.
But
the best of us. Or the worst.
Not the best, yeah.
The best or worst
I mean,
of us.
if you got a teammate that can drive you into the points and you can't,
Yeah.
I mean, he deserves to be at the bottom.
Yeah. True.
Okay, so we'll do our top 5. This might be a little bit different. I know I have something different. So we'll start at 5. We'll
Okay.
go to 1.
5 to 1. Okay. I am going to... Who am I going to put in 5th? I'm going to put Carlos.
I have Carlos.
I'm going to put Carlos in 5th. Yeah.
I have Carlos as well. I think Ferrari, I'm hopeful that Ferrari is going to sort their shit out.
Yeah, I think
this
they
year.
have.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they're very much under the microscope.
Yeah.
All signs so far have pointed to the simulator work and all that the Ferrari is quicker.
Yeah.
As long as it can run through a whole race. I mean,
Yeah.
the simulator is going to make them run through a whole race.
Yeah.
But the speed's there, the drivers are there. As long as they don't have the same reliability issues that they had last year, I think he should be able to take 5th there pretty easily.
Yeah. I would say Ferrari is on that upward trajectory. I hope they are.
You hope.
Yeah. So I have Carlos in 5th.
Okay.
Confident in him.
Okay. For number 4, my number 4, I put Lewis.
Yeah, okay. You think he's going to take a step down?
I don't necessarily think that he's going to take a step down. I think there's more steps up.
Okay.
I think Mercedes is going to put out a better product next year.
Okay.
And Lewis is going to take everything out he can. I don't think that car is going to be there. I think it's going to be a dogfight. Like for me, for the constructors, and we'll get into who we think is going to be constructors. I think it's going to be a dogfight in those top 4.
Okay.
I think Lewis will fall short a little bit. I'm not confident that they're not going to be stubborn enough to make the big changes they need to make.
Okay.
And so that'll keep Lewis in 4th just because, I mean, the talent's there again, like we talked about.
Yeah.
I think he's going to will himself in that 4th place. And that's why I don't have Russell in my top 5.
Yeah.
Right? I have him finishing probably just short of Sainz. But I don't think he'll be
You
there.
have George in 6th, in theory.
Somewhere in the 6 or 7,
Yeah.
I think he'll fall. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to go into too many details about that because I don't want to be too wrong.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, my Lewis is my 4.
You make valid points. And I had thought about putting Lewis in 3rd. But I think you might be right. I think Lewis is going to be a 4th. Or like a very close. I think it's going to be 3rd and 4th are going to be very close.
Yeah.
I think numbers wise, they're going to be ridiculously close.
Yeah.
The margins are going to be very close. Yeah, I'll go Lewis. I'm with you on that.
So we're gonna be this.
No, we're not. I can guarantee you we're not going to be the same.
That sound makes me think we're gonna be the exact same.
Okay.
I can guarantee you right now.
Okay.
Go ahead with your number 3.
I'm going to go number 3, Lando.
I have Lando as well.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I have Lando as well.
I know I just said, okay, well, it'll make more sense after. But I think this is his year. I think he's going to get at least one first place. I think he's going to take...
Let's not blow the load here just yet.
Okay. Okay, so...
You're still going with more...
Okay. Lando will get a win. He will get a win. He's
So
my
you
3rd.
Think, okay.
We'll leave him at 3rd for now.
Okay. So I'm the same. I think that the race pace was there last year. It's going to continue on this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to take a step back.
No.
I think they'll continue to improve next year.
Yeah. I
which
think they
means-
figured out their car.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And so I think that that he'll finish in 3rd. Again, like I think that Mercedes McLaren fight will be a lot closer. Actually, Mercedes McLaren Red Bull Ferrari fight will be a lot closer in terms of times and quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you go with your number 2.
My number 2, taking 2nd place in the championship, it's gonna be Max.
Really?
I think Max is. I'll get into it a little bit
you-
later, but I don't think that. Now, this may be just because I've already placed an actual real money bet in real life.
Oh, God.
So I'm working.
We don't condone
gambling.
gambling.
I'm trying to put the karma out there. But for me, I think I don't think he's gonna have as stellar of a season. How could you?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay.
But I think, as I said, I think the fight between the top constructors is going to be a lot closer.
Yeah.
How close, I don't know, because Red Bull's already started. And that's the other thing. I don't know if Red Bull's early move into the 2025 development is going to hamper them to looking at upgrades for their car. Like, how close is that gap going to be?
Right.
Are they going to have to switch focus and that gap's getting too close, or they're having reliability issues with their 2024 car where now they're on the back foot and they have to kind of catch up
Or everybody
with the development.
Everybody catches up to them in 2024.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay. You have Max. You're saying he's not going to win 21 out of 22
No, definitely
races?
not. No, definitely not.
Okay.
I'm saying he's going to win 20. No, he's not going to win.
I have Charles in 2nd. I think I said that 3 and 4, so Lando and Lewis are going to be battling it out. I think we're going to see that 2022 battle of number 1 and Charles, which I think it's obvious who I have as number 1.
But you still think there's going to be a fight between...
I still think there's going to be a fight, and I also think there's going to be a bit of back and forth, like shifting of 2 and 3. Like, I think Lando's really going to surprise people.
Okay, yeah.
But I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be...
So your number 1
is Max.
You think Max is going to take it?
I don't think he's going to do... Again.
You don't think he'll have it won by the summer break?
No. I think he will... I think he'll be number 1 overall again. But I don't think it's going to be as consistent. I think it's going to be a bit of work for him this year.
Okay, fair enough. See, my number 1, because I'm hoping to win some money,
is Charles.
Is Charles Leclerc. That's right. Again, I think just going into Ferrari's development, I think they're going to really bring a fight to Red Bull.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that Red Bull could have some reliability issues. Yeah. I mean, that the luck just can't be on their side again. You're going to get some wonky things with weather and safety cars or whatever it may be that are really going to... And that gap's going to be a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I think that Charles can edge out Max at some point. And just because of that fight, I think that McLaren might be able to take that fight to them as well.
Yeah.
So they're not fighting just with themselves.
Yeah.
Right? They're fighting a war on 2 fronts or 3 fronts.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Just a couple of incidents.
Yeah. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to go down.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout again.
No. This is going to come down to me. It's going to come down to Vegas or Abu Dhabi.
Oh, you think like that
I think it's going to come down that far.
Really?
And that somehow Ferrari is going to be able to, or Charles is going to be able to edge that out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, with our 10 best and worst drivers, we'll move into who we think is going to be what our rankings are for our constructors, where they're going to fall again this year. Okay. And we'll look at it through all this at the end of the year. We'll do an update video of who was right, who was wrong, who won, who didn't.
Yeah.
And we'll put some money. No, I'm joking. I'm not a degenerate gambler. But yeah, with that, we'll move into our Constructors' Championship.
Okay. So, we are going to do Constructors' predictions.
Yeah.
So we're going to where everybody's going to fall for the next year. Or everybody is in the teams. Starting at 10.
Going right to 1. Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to go back and forth, or are we just going to say our
10? Let's do a 10 to 5.
Okay.
Or 10 to 6, sorry.
Okay.
And then we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, that works for me. All right. So in 10th, I have Williams. I have Haas coming out, but I have Williams 10th. I have
a step back. A big step back.
Yeah. I have 9 as Stake F1 team, also known as Alfa Romeo. I have Haas in 8th. I have Visa Cash App Racing Bulls.
Yeah.
Or
I put
AlphaTauri.
that in my listing. Yeah.
And then I have Alpine in 6th.
Okay.
And I'll just...
Very different, you and I.
Really?
Very different.
Okay, well, let me just say, Haas in 8th, I think, with, Günther Steiner leaving, I think with, I want to say his name, but I know I'm going to say it wrong, their new principal.
Yeah.
He has been with them for so long behind the scenes. I think, sometimes when you're out of it, you can see more. I think he's going to help. I don't know how well he's going to help, but I think he can get them out of last place. And I, for some reason, think they're going to end off in 8th place.
Okay.
I'm scared of yours.
For me, I have 10. I still have Haas.
Okay.
For 9, I have my medium rare Angus beef.
Okay, so we're right on that one.
Yeah. 8, I have Williams. Okay. Taking a little bit of a step back. 7, I have Alpine. They're also taking a little bit of a step back. And in sixth, I have Visa Cash. Even though I hate saying the name,
I know.
like
Visa
they should get
Cash App.
10th just for that.
Yeah.
But for me, they're going to be sixth. I think.
Okay.
And I'll get into other reasons why I
Okay.
think they'll make that. But for me, Haas, I think, yeah, I whatever his name is, I forget. I think he's going. I think
Komatsu is his last
Komatsu,
name.
yeah,
but
that's it.
I think we're butchering that. Sorry.
I honestly just forgot.
Yeah.
But, I think he's going to. I think he's going to help. I think it's going to be too little, too late. I think
Okay.
he's been replaced too late to really make a
In the
development of the car.
Okay.
I think it'll help a little bit, but it's not going to be enough.
Okay.
When we get to stake, I mean, there's stake. Williams again. I think that the other cars are going to take enough of a leap this time that Albon's not going to be able to save them another place.
Right.
And Logan's not going to help them at all.
Yeah.
Alpine, they'll take a step back only because I think the Racing Bulls will take a step up.
Okay.
Right. I think Yuki.
So we had those switched, but okay.
Yeah, I think Yuki, and then what I have thinking for what's going to happen with my drivers will help change their fortunes a little bit.
Okay. I had Alpine a little. I had them in sixth. My positive that I think would help them might be part of your negatives as well. Is I think getting the athletes that have like put in money into the team might help them. I mean, they don't know development or anything like that, but just
paying.
that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're athletes; they kind of know what these guys are going through as well. But is it enough? I don't know. But it could also be the other way. Like you have these people that are coming into it that have no idea what they're doing, like us. But it could go both ways. Like it could help or it could hinder. So
I'm also wondering, does the rivalry between Ocon and Gasly hurt them? I'm thinking we could see a flare up this year.
yeah. We should do an episode on rivalries.
We should.
Yeah, and that
We will.
We will.
We will.
That will be one of them. That was me thinking out loud, guys.
Again, not being edited.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's our 10 to 6.
yeah.
So we'll go one by one now. 5.
Okay.
5, and I'm pretty sure we're in the same 5.
Probably.
Yeah.
5 Aston Martin.
Aston. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's not going to be much different than it was this year. I think. I always want to say Lando when it's Fernando. Fernando's is going to carry them again.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're going to see a little bit better from Stroll. I don't think you're going to. I think he's going to be about where he is still.
Yeah.
But I think I did it again. Fernando's going to propel them into 5th.
Yeah. Okay. 4th, I have McLaren. You have Mercedes.
I have Mercedes.
Yeah. So I have McLaren. I think it's going to. I mean, kind of jumping ahead to 3rd. I have Mercedes in 3rd. I think they're gonna do enough that it's just gonna be. I think it's gonna what happened with Mercedes and Ferrari this year. I think it's gonna be a repeat, but just with McLaren.
See, I have, like I said, I have Mercedes in 4th, McLaren in 3rd.
Okay.
And I was back and forth.
Yeah.
With them. I
hard
could
to
see it
say.
either way.
Yeah.
I could see Piastri beating out George, but I could see it the other way as well.
Yeah.
I could see Piastri giving George a lot of fits.
Yeah.
And George just trying to push it to the limit a little too much again.
Yeah.
Trying not to be beaten again. And I can see. I think Lando's going to take enough points to get them there.
Okay.
And then Piastri just being able to push them past.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and again, like I think with Mercedes development is not going to be quite there just yet. And they're going to be.
You still think they need one more year?
Like I said, I think they're going to be. No, I think they'll be there this year, but I think it's going to come a little too late. I think they're going to try and make. They're not going to make enough of a drastic change to make it significant.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was
actually something I just thought about too. Like the Mercedes drivers, kind of more George. Like they take those emotional moments and like it hinders them.
Mm-hmm.
Where like I find Lando and Oscar, like they take those moments and they're like, all right, let's go to work.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
like
They
forget
handle
it.
those
Yeah.
pressure situations a little bit better.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, you're probably right. Or we'll see.
Well, we'll
don't
see.
know.
We'll see.
I
We'll
don't
see.
know.
We'll grade ourselves after
Yeah.
in the next 9 months.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's 11 at this point. So then for my number two, I know I have Leclerc winning the drivers, but I don't have them winning the constructors.
Yeah. They are.
I'll get into that again
Yeah.
in some of the other predictions, but I don't think that Max is going to be at. I think everybody else is going to up their game enough that Max is not going to be able to win this by himself.
Yeah.
Or he might. No, what the hell am I saying? Ferrari is going to be a lot closer.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be quite there.
Okay.
And so I think they'll take second.
I think they will take second as well. I think the gap between second and third is going to be quite a bit further than it was this year.
Oh, I don't have that.
Really?
I think that first, second, third, and fourth are probably going to be within 150 points of each other.
Oh, but yeah, you did say it's coming down to the last couple races.
Yeah, I think they're going to be quite a bit close. All four of those, I think they're going to be right there, probably within about 150 points.
Okay. I think it's not going to be like a blowout for either first or second, but I think there's going to be enough of a gap that like going into the last race, it's going to be kind of set for the constructors and then maybe a little switch up for the drivers.
I can see my second and third, which is McLaren and Ferrari, being a little further apart. So the 3 and 4 closer together. Okay. First and second closer together. A little bit more of a gap, maybe maybe a 75-point gap or something like that between them. But yeah, so
then Red Bull number 1.
Well, yeah, I
mean, I think like you said, they're going to have the development. Is it going to be the same that they're 27 second or Max is finishing 27 seconds ahead? No, but I still think they know their car.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be with 8 races left that they won, but I have Red Bull.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so those are our drivers and constructors. So now we're just going to have a little bit of fun. We're just going to come up with some random crap.
Okay.
And see how close we can get by mid-season or end of season or first race or whatever we've got.
Okay. My first hot take, which we kind of already touched on this, but I don't think Max is going to win every race.
That was my first question. Will Max win every race or every lap this year?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we will hear the Dutch anthem nearly as much. Yeah, that's I don't see it happening. I don't see it balanced, but I see it being other teams, drivers.
Yeah. Okay. With that being said, because I'm in the same boat as you, I don't think he's going to win every race. There's not a chance. Okay, he's not going to win any. I don't think he's going to win any race with the same amount of gap as he had in the beginning, where he was at 20 or 30 seconds or whatever it was. Plus or minus, how many races do you think he wins?
How many we have this year? 24.
24 races. 24 races.
And he won 19
He
this
won 19.
Year.
No. Yeah, he won 19 of the 22. Yes, sorry. Yes. Perez 2, Sainz 1.
Oh, I want him to beat the record and, get 20, but I don't think he will. I think he'll do 18, 19.
Well, you're going to be higher than me because you think 18 or 19 race wins. Okay.
Because I remember I have him as my number one. I have Red Bull.
So for me, I think he's at about an 8 or 9 race wins.
Really?
Yeah, I think Charles is going to be close to that. Maybe not exactly that many, but I think Max is going to have more reliability issues this year. or something that happens where he gets taken out of a race
Okay.
or whatever it is. Yeah, or rain, whatever.
Okay.
Spa is just a
Yeah.
hellhole. But
Yeah.
so no, I think I want to put him at 8 just because it's an easier
Wow.
way for him not to win the championship for me.
Yeah. You think
But I'm
only
gonna go 9.
8
I'm
races?
gonna go 9.
9 races
I'll go
that he's
9.
going to win. Okay.
Yeah.
Sticking with Red Bull, I think that Checo is still going to struggle.
Yeah.
I think
have
he's
that
still
too.
going to struggle with the car.
So can I tell you? Okay,
No.
you go into your reasoning.
No,
I'll go into
I
my
just I still think. I mean, I think everybody thinks the car is still heavily in favor of Max.
I don't
The
think it's
team
car,
is
though.
heavily in favor of Max. Unless something changed drastically, and I think we'll probably be able to tell in the first couple of races of the season,
Yeah.
but I think he's gonna feel that pressure. I mean, we've talked about contracts. Contracts are coming up. He's got the pressure of that seat. Everybody wants that seat. And I think a lot of people want him out of that seat.
So my hot take is that Checo gets replaced by Ricardo mid-season somewhere.
Okay. That's funny that you said that.
It might just be recency bias because I've been rewatching the 2016 season because I wanted to see the turmoil between Lewis and Nico.
Yeah.
And if you watch it on the F1 TV app, you don't get obviously you don't get the news that's in between it, right? And so I'm watching it, and for the first 3 races, I think it is 3 or 4 races, it's Daniel Kvyat who's in the Red Bull seat.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the next race, it was Max.
It's just Max.
And he was gone. Because, I mean, and Kvyat
Yeah.
had a couple of accidents and stuff, bad accidents, terrible accidents.
Yeah.
But that were his fault. And I think we could have a repeat of that. I think there's going to be something where he's just not performing, he's on the back foot, and that he's going to get replaced by Ricardo. Somewhere, I don't know if it's before the break or just after the break, somewhere in the mid-season, he's going to get replaced. Because they've shown before, Horner's shown before, he has no problem making that switch.
So one of my hot takes was that we will see, and I did it specific to 2 people, kind of like yours, but I said we will see Liam Lawson again in 2024, and I think we'll see Mick in a car for some reason. For they have to jump in because someone's sick. Someone needs to be.
It's funny that you say that.
Daniel needs to go to Red Bull, so Liam's got to come up. I think.
I thought about that. I thought about Daniel leaving and then Liam jumping in.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to terminate Perez's contract, so I think they'll make that switch.
Yeah.
I'll get to where Liam fits in later.
Okay.
But I also had that somewhere in the season, Logan's going to be kicked out. He's gone. He's not going to make it back.
Yeah.
Either the damages are piling up or the performance isn't there. And Mick's going to take that spot. We know that Williams is a customer team. He's still the 3rd driver, the reserve driver for Mercedes. It's just a fit. It's just a way to get him back in the door. I think he's going to end the season with Williams.
Okay. Mick, you think Mick? Okay.
Mick, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing too is just back to Red Bull when I said he's going to have reliability issues. I think that Max going into the mid-season, I'm getting very specific. This is going to ruin my hot takes
over under.
I think he's going to be leading the championship going into the break, and he will ultimately lose it by the end of the season.
Okay.
He could be leading the championship by 4 points.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But going into the break, he's going to be leading it. He'll lose it by the end of the season, whether it's reliability or weather or whatever penalties. We'll see.
Okay. I mean, I also had that there will be at least one driver shakeup during the season. I mean, we have 14 contracts that are ending.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be at least one driver shakeup.
That's fair. I obviously
Yeah.
It's going to be at least 2.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is really a hot take or controversial or anything, but I think Lewis will win a race. I think it's been
I did not have that one.
Really?
I didn't have Lewis winning a race this year.
I mean, it's been 3 years.
It could be.
2021 was his last race win, so I think he's due. I think they are going to be a little bit more competitive. Are they competitive for first or second? No. But I think we will see Lewis win a race.
I mean, I don't find that far-fetched at all. I mean, I only have Max winning 9.
Well, someone else has got to win.
Leclerc's probably going to win like
Yeah.
7 or maybe, or
Yeah.
whatever, or be consistently in second. So, I mean, there's still another 9 up for grabs.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Hulkenberg's going to win
Yeah,
one.
Hulk's probably going to win, for sure. I do have, I mean, I agree with you. McLaren's going to win a race this year.
Yeah.
They may win more than one.
I think they will win more than
but
one.
Lando's going to get his.
Yes.
I have to give it to Lando. I can't give it to Piastri.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
It might. I hope they both would. But I think Lando's going to get his race win this year. But I also have Leclerc will win a race from pole.
That's a good one. I mean, he's got to do
he
it.
has to.
He's got to do
A little
it.
overdue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my hot but not so hot take.
Right.
I mean, I guess the odds are against him, but
All the odds are against him. Just going off Lando, I also had, I think, McLaren and specifically Lando, I think they're just going to be gunning. They're going to be giving everything that they have. I think we might see a little bit of a Lando villain era.
Villain era.
Yeah, I think he's going to be ruthless.
Yeah, but does that make him a villain? I mean, is it
No.
possible to look at the guy and be like, yeah,
No,
there's
no,
way.
not at all.
I mean,
But like, I don't think he's gonna be driving people off like the road or anything. But I just think he's gonna be taking those risks to the extreme. Like he's just gonna. That corner looks too short. It's okay. I'm gonna do it. You know, that bit of like reckless driving that George had last season, 2022.
Yeah.
Max has every year.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see Lando pull
Okay.
out his villain era.
I have that McLaren will, just before the break is going to be ahead of Ferrari, and Ferrari's going to take that second place. I mean, for me, that just makes sense more so because I think Leclerc's going to win. So I think he's going to have a fantastic second half of that season.
Okay.
So he will propel Ferrari into that second place while still securing himself the championship.
Okay.
That's not much of a...
Yeah, and I like one of mine was very similar. I have that Ferrari will, and I literally wrote it like this: they'll get their shit together.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. So I think they figured it out. Was it Fred? I don't know. Like Fred Vasseur, I don't know if it was him that figured it out. I think the drivers probably made the team figure it out. But yeah, I think they'll get their shit together, or they have gotten their shit together.
Yeah. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
Who will have the highest damage cost of 2024? Last year it was Logan, and I don't have who is the rest of it. But
I want to say Checo was up there,
Checo was, yes.
but not crashes. So are you saying like damage?
Damage cost.
Okay,
so
damage cost.
it could have been there was an incident and they have things replaced. I mean, Logan's were more so because he went into walls.
Which I also don't think it's fair that like damage because the car overheated or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's not an insurance claim. You can't.
I know,
send
but it
to
goes
somebody
against
else.
the-
I know, but
Goes against the driver. It's not their
like if
fault.
K-Mag back runs into me, I can't say, "Hey, Haas, so
Yeah,
call your
here's
insurance
your
guy."
bill.
Yeah, just pay the deductible.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna be Logan again.
I have somebody different. I have
You do.
Ocon. I have Ocon.
Ocon.
I think that rivalry with Gasly is going to be boiling up. I think he's going to take too many risks.
Do you think he's gonna take out Gasly?
Not necessarily Gasly, but just pushing himself a little too hard.
Yeah.
And he's gonna. I'm sure he's gonna cause. I'm not sure. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna cause a few more than he should have.
Yeah.
So I think he'll have the highest damage cost. I also think it's gonna cause him some penalties. So I think he's also gonna be the top of the penalties this year.
He's gonna be. I mean,
Probably grid penalties.
he
not
probably has
necessarily-
a penalty already.
Yeah, it's
going
it's
into
lingering from
preseason.
He's starting from the pit lane in
Yeah.
preseason.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Ocon. Okay. I think Yuki's gonna be in there.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see a little bit of Yuki's
Old school. Yuki.
yeah. Yeah, I think he may not, and this is just emotion wise, but I think having Daniel back for a full season, full time, might put a lot of like pressure on him.
Okay.
Or he may feel it. I would. Everybody loves Yuki, but everybody loves Daniel. There's like that little bit of pressure. So few mistakes there, but I Logan still number one.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you have any more? I'm done with my hot takes.
I think there's going to be some. I shouldn't say some. I think there's going to be some Red Bull do not finish.
Oh, 100%. I think there
Yeah?
is. Yeah. I think there has to be if Max isn't going to win the championship.
Well, yeah, you're like banking on it.
I have to, yeah. I mean, and I don't want to say that. I'm a Max fan. I'm a Red Bull fan.
You're just trying to buy your way back into the Red Bull.
Yeah, I'm trying to make some money too. So,
Yeah.
I think they have to have some DNFs. I think, like I said, I think there's still going to be some reliability issues.
Yeah.
Not still. There will be that Max can't overcome for some reason.
Yeah. What about like team principals? Do you have any or pit wall shakeups?
Oh, actually, yes. So I don't think that. I don't want to say. I was gonna say that Komatsu is gonna be a one and done.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think. That's a hot take. It's more of a hot take.
That's a hot take. Bringing Steiner back?
No.
No.
I don't
think
that.
he would come back either.
No, I think they would put Komatsu back down to his engineering role, and then hire outside maybe. I don't know. But I don't. That's a hot take. I think maybe Gene might give him an extra year, but I could see it not working out.
So I did a little bit of research on him. And so he actually was following Grosjean around, and that's how he came over to Haas. So he's been there since Grosjean joined.
Well, it'd been the first years because he was.
It was the first year, exactly, 2016. So I think that he might be that silent but deadly in the back, like watching everything. But that's interesting that you think it's just gonna be 1 year.
That's my hot take for team principals.
Yeah. I don't have anything for team principals.
I mean, really, we know that Toto's sticking around. Christian's not going anywhere.
No.
He's the longest standing team principals. Zach's probably not going anywhere. Not the way he's finished off last year. If he can continue it this year.
Yeah.
Fred, I think, will stick around. Everybody else is all been here for 1 year, 2 years. So I think they're for the most part okay.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really even think that Komatsu is going to go anywhere.
Yeah. But
just for fun.
Yeah.
Just
I also think again, I don't know if this is a hot take. I think this is just it's bound to happen. I think Helmut Marko is going to say something that they're going to have to separate from him.
It would be more of a hot take if you said that Helmut Marko would be gone for this season,
yeah.
which he's not going to be.
Yeah. I think he's just going to say
they just
something.
Give him another 3 years or something?
Something like that. But I think he's just going to say something so damaging that
Yeah.
they're just going to be like, dude.
The day they demote Checo, he'll say something.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah, I wanted him gone or like something. Yeah. That was all my hot takes.
I'm good.
I don't know
as well.
what,
I think
what
I've
other
got everything I need.
What other predictions can we do?
Right now, so what we can do, I want to do a little bit of a 2025 contract fantasy draft. So it's kind of a hot take.
Okay.
We can't really, grade these until later on. Probably this time next year. But still, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll keep it updated.
Yeah.
But as everybody knows, or some people may know, next year's silly season, as long as people don't get signed early in the year or by the break or anything, there's a lot of contracts ending in 2024.
14.
Yeah. So
14 of 20 drivers.
we know Max is there till 2028.
Yeah.
Charles is there till 2029. Lewis and Russell are both till 2025. Norris 2025. Piastri's 2026. I have a thing here that says Lance Stroll's is rolling. Obviously, as long as Dad
Yeah.
owns the team.
Yeah, the one that I have is unknown. So, I
So
mean,
as long as Dad owns the team,
Yeah.
he's going to be there. And everybody else's contracts end in 2024.
2024.
And it's interesting because 2025, after 2025, we know that we're going to have Audi in there, possibly Andretti.
Possibly.
So there's possibly a lot of open seats.
Okay, so who do you...
So let's go through
yeah.
let's go through the ones we don't really care about much. Haas, they both end in 2024. What do you think for 2025?
I think that might be a revamp. Both of them gone.
I'm the same. I think there's going to be 2 new drivers in 2025.
Unless one or both of them do something amazing this year, they're both gone.
So I have that they're both gone by 2025, and that possibly one of them doesn't make it through this season.
Ooh. And you think that's K-Mag? Okay, cool.
I
On to the next.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not basing it off of last year's performance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there could be one of them gone this year.
Cool.
So back to medium rare.
Yep.
They both end in 2024.
I'm a little... This one's going to sound really weird. I think Valtteri might retire.
Interesting.
And if he does, they'll keep Joe.
Okay.
If he doesn't, they'll get rid of Joe.
So what are you saying? What's your hot take here?
That is my hot take.
You gotta pick one. You
No,
can't just option it out.
I think it's like that one's like up in the air.
Oh, it just depends on.
I don't
Valtteri.
think the two of them will be at stake come 2025. It's going to be one or the other, and my conditions are.
Let's see, I have a little more. I think they're for at least for 2024.
Yeah, they're both going to be there.
2025. They're gonna re-up for 1 year each in
Okay.
2025. I think they'll be there for 2025. I think that Valtteri wants to see what's going to happen with the 2026 teams and weigh out his options. So he'll only sign a 1 year contract, and I don't think Zhou's proven enough to get a longer term contract.
Right.
So I think they'll
Okay.
keep him at a 1 year. So I think they'll both re-up. It'll just be for 1 year.
Okay.
So Visa cash e-transfers. They
Yeah, I
both- are
think
they
they'll
2024?
both stay.
You think they'll both stay?
Again, it depends on what happens with Daniel.
No. You have to make a decision.
Okay.
You have to make a decision. This is not.
Okay. I say Daniel leaves, Liam comes in
Okay.
for
yeah.
2025.
For 2025.
But I think they'll both. If there is that shakeup, that at least one driver shakeup, that I think it'll be Daniel going to Red Bull. Then Liam would come in earlier. If not, they're both out. Or sorry, Liam will come in, Daniel will be out.
I'm pretty much the same. I have Ricardo is going to be in the Red Bull seat, whether that's going to be the driver change mid-season or at the end of the year, and that Yuki's going to re-sign with Visa Cash App. Okay. In hopes that he can, because he's put in the time, he wants that Red Bull seat. Who knows what's going to happen with Daniel down the line?
Yeah.
I think he's going to do that, whether it's for a year or two or whatever it is. And that Lawson's going to get that 2025 seat.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. I've got
Ocon and
Williams.
Williams. Sorry. Williams is Albon and
Sargent.
Sargent barely made it through this year, so I think Sargent's out.
Yeah. I think regardless of whether my other hot take comes through and he gets replaced by Mick, I think it's going to happen. I think that he, even if he makes it to the end of the year, he's going to be out.
Logan.
And that Mick's going to take over that seat for 2025.
Yeah.
And I think Albon's going to re-up again for a year in hopes he's signing with Ferrari. In 2026.
Yeah. I think Albon will stay there as long as the car's doing well.
Yeah.
I think he'll want to stay there and be their number one. Yeah.
I think he's going to just stay just because there aren't any other options up.
True. That's fair as well.
Alpine.
This is an interesting one.
Really? You got an interesting one for Alpine?
I think Ocon's out.
To another team? After this year?
I don't know if anybody's going to pick him up.
You think they're not going to re-sign him?
I don't think Alpine will re-sign Ocon.
And he's driving a tractor in the wineries of France.
Oui.
Okay.
Oui,
All
oui.
right. I think he's going to stay the same. I think they're going to re-up again, probably at least a year.
Oh, really?
I think they're going to just keep it the same.
Okay.
Okay. Aston Martin. I've got two possibles here, and I know I told you have to make a decision. I can't decide on this one.
Okay.
I went back and forth on this for about 20 minutes last night, just in my head. I couldn't think of which one I want to stick with.
I think as long as Fernando does the same, if not better this year, he's there until 2026. He's there until he retires.
I know he's got that option. I know he's like, if he wants to be there, he's there.
Yeah. Lance is up to his dad. That's my
I'm not far off again.
take on that.
If this year is a bust for Aston, my very out there hot take is that Alonso retires.
Okay.
I don't think he would, because there'd be so many other seats somebody would want to take him. He's proven that. But that's my very out there hot take, and then it would stay Stroll and Drugovich as the Aston Martin pairing.
Oh, okay.
Or Stroll, for whatever reason, decides to be out in 2024, and that way Alonso will stay with Drugovich.
Okay.
I think Drugovich is in next year.
No matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, they mistakenly put his name up on.
I don't know why I never came up with the fact that it just stays the same.
Yeah. Okay, let's say, just going off this a little bit, let's just say their Aston Martin is a bust. Not just drivers. Do you think Lawrence is out? Do you think
If
he's
Lawrence
done?
is out, then I think Stroll's out, and
Stroll's
it's Alonso and Drugovich.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's actually probably the more plausible answer.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Lawrence is gone, Lance is gone. There's
100%.
there's no way.
He's got no parental figure just whipping him in the back saying, I put too much goddamn money into this.
Exactly.
You're staying.
Yeah. Okay, so then the last two.
There's two. Ferrari?
We've got Carlos.
Yeah.
His Carlos Sainz Sr. is backing Audi, so I think he's going to go there.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I think he signs for one more year.
Yeah.
Just because he's proven himself that he could be in there.
Yeah.
And then
just waiting
for Audi in 2026. And that's why I think Albon's going to take his seat in Ferrari in 2026.
Okay. And then Piastri, I think Piastri is probably going to be a
Piastri
McLaren.
signed till 2026.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
My other one was Perez. Red Bull.
Oh, Perez, you're right. Totally mixed that up. Oh, no, he's done.
Yeah.
I regardless of how he does this season, I think he's done.
Done?
Done.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to pick him up.
Oh, I'm the same. Okay, so I think he's going to switch with Daniel mid-season, and he will not be an F1 in 2025. No. I think he's... it's sad to say.
Yeah.
Especially with all the rumors him going to Formula E.
Yeah.
Or talks.
He's also... I don't want to say he's not young, because I think he's my age, but... Yeah,
this is all dependent, too, on if we have one or two other teams in 2026. Because if we do, he could be out for a year and come back in 2026. But this is for 2025.
Yeah. If there's two more teams in 2026, I can see Perez coming back. Perez Alonso, maybe? Not at Aston Martin.
No. They wouldn't be it out in Andretti?
I don't know where it would be.
Andretti GM Cadillac?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so I think
we'll see.
Pretty close on some of those.
Yeah. Well,
so that was our prediction season. We'll keep that updated.
So we'll have to do
We'll keep it tracked.
Yeah. How well we're doing.
And see who's got bragging rights.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it for episode 4.
Episode 4. All done. So again, find us on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify.
At Fresh Set Podcast.
That's the one.
YouTube, Amazon Music. We're missing one.
Apple Podcast.
How did I miss that one? Follow us there. Like, subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave questions. We'll get to whatever we can.
Yeah.
Tell us if you love us or hate us.
Only if you love us.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.